Hey guys, now you can follow me on Facebook. Just go to facebook.com/UltraMaximusReviews. Cybertron Weekly is your central hub for everything Transformers.
The Transformers will return these messages.
That was badass.
You suck.
Nice.
Transformers!
Hello YouTube, UltraMaximus back with another toy review, and today we're taking a look at a Transformers Power of the Primes figure. It's Autobot Jazz. Now, I was really jazzed to find this guy. See what I did there? At my local half-price books, I picked the figure up for $8.49, which was fantastic. This is the first Transformer I think I've seen over at half-price books, so that was kind of cool to pick him up. And this was something that I've been wanting to get since I saw him released in the Power of the Primes, and just have never really gotten around to getting him. So I figured, why not save half? So let's go ahead and take a look at the packaging. So here we have Jazz in box, and overall, I gotta say, I really like the look of this figure. The chest especially just looks amazing. The paint apps, the translucent blue plastic of his headlights, definitely very cool. Although I gotta say, there are a couple things that kind of miff me straight out the gate looking at the figure. Primarily, the hands of the figure are stark white, which this is the second time I've gotten in a row a Power of the Primes figure where the hands are mispainted. I always remember Jazz's hands being black. I'm going to have to go back and look after I do this review and actually look at some G1 images, but I'm pretty sure they're black, aren't they? Leave a message below if they're not. And the other thing is the head sculpt looks a little weird to me. I love the way the head is depicted in the artwork, but it just doesn't translate that well into plastic, which is a bit unfortunate. It's just it just looks too narrow in the nose and the mouth to be Jazz for me. So I did pick this up for $8.49, which was really, really cool. I've been wanting to get him. I've seen him on sale for about 12 bucks here and there, but $8.49, I just couldn't walk away from it. Side note, they did have this Prowl figure, the Cyber Battalion Prowl, which is a Walgreens exclusive for like $16 and some odd cents. They had him for 30 bucks, $29.99. Get out of here, half-price books. I mean, are those figures that hard to find? I definitely wouldn't pay 30 bucks for that. If you have not seen the review on that figure, I will add a card to that in this video. But yeah, back to Jazz. I'm digging the artwork. Says Transformers. It's only $8.49. There's his vehicle mode. There he is in robot mode. He comes with a part because he is a Gestalt. I'm surprised this did not come out in Combiner Wars, but I guess they did make some of the Gestalts in this line, so they saved some of the characters back. But yeah, he definitely looks pretty cool. Side of the package shows him connecting with RC, I guess. Not RC, it's Alita 1 is the female Combiner, and then there's all the Prime bits in the plastic right there, which is kind of interesting. And then, yeah, there's the Combiner that he's supposed to connect into. And yeah, so there's the artwork. It's $8.49, and yeah, there he is. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the front of the package. Back of the box shows Jazz. There he is in his vehicle mode, and he can wear the little baby carrier on his chest, and it becomes a foot or a not an arm, but a hand. It's got a little tiny right up there, and then here are all the other Power of the Prime Masters that you can connect into, a la the Plague gimmick. So yeah, just kind of a close-up really quick. If you want to pause and read this, you are more than welcome to. There's Jazz, there's his baby carrier, and there's his vehicle mode, and then here are the other figures that you can use with the Plague gimmick. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the packaging. Let's go ahead and get Jazz out of the box and see what we think. Alright, so here we have Jazz out of the packaging, and I've got to say, I've got mixed feelings about this figure. Now, at first, I thought something just looked off to me, and I thought, well, maybe it's the head. It just kind of real narrow in the face. The hands are white and not black, and then I realized he doesn't have any doors hanging off the side, which I like and dislike simultaneously. I'm used to seeing Jazz figures with the doors, and I always liked the Autobot cars with the doors hanging off, like Prowl and Blue Streak. I don't know, I just kind of like that design. However, in the original G1 cartoon, Jazz did not have any doors hanging off, so this is actually way more cartoon accurate, and I do appreciate that. It's even got his little black shoulders here. I mean, this very, very, very much looks like the G1 figure, or character out of the cartoon, I should say, except he's got white hands. Oh, why did they give him white hands? And another issue I've got with the figure is it's kind of wobbly. The joints, they're not really loose, but they're also not very stiff. The other thing is this plastic feels thin and cheap, and that is very disappointing. Aside from that, this is actually a pretty good figure. It's relatively simple to transform. You can get it into some pretty decent poses, and it's got really nice paint apps. Now, as far as articulation goes, let's see here, his head can move back and forth. It can move up and down just a little bit. His shoulders, they're not ball joints. It's actually a hinge that comes up like this, and then there is a mushroom peg right there. He does have a ball joint at the elbow, and this is really weird. He's got a mushroom peg on his hands so they can wiggle just a little bit, but because of these doors, you can't move them around. It would have been better if they put a hinge here and flipped this door up to give access to the hand, but yeah, they did not do that. And then if you lift the backpack a little bit, he does have some waist articulation, which is nice. He's got a ball joint at the hip. He has a mushroom peg up here at the top, and his leg just popped out of the ball joint. Let's see here, and then he has a single joint at the knee and nothing at the feet. So yeah, there he is. Not bad articulation, but again, it's just really loose. I mean, you saw the hip joint just fall right out of place, which is very disappointing. Taking a closer look at the figure itself, I do like the overall design of the figure. The head, it's a little too narrow for me for Jazz, but it's got all the hallmarks it should. I love the chest. I love the translucent blue headlights. The paint detail's nice. I wish his eye visor was the same translucent blue plastic that we have on the headlights, but it is what it is. The backpack is very concealed on this. I think they did a great job with that. I wish there was some paint on the tires, on the wheels. That would have been nice. The black shoulders, definitely digging that. Very cartoon accurate. And then we got the stripes underneath his body, which they're in the midsection, and that's typically seen on the hood. So a little bit of a redesign, which is not too terribly bad. So looking at the midsection of the figure, again, the sculpt is pretty decent. I don't know why they put mushroom pegs on the hands when it's just got the door piece there and he can't move his hands. That's just ridiculous. The sculpt work on the gun's okay. It's just a silver plastic, which I guess works. At least it's not all white, so that's kind of the cool thing. Well, actually, it's not silver plastic. It's painted silver with a white handle, which is kind of interesting, double taking a look at that. Again, I love the backpack, how it folds in very nicely and neat up on his back. I think they did a good job there. I just wish those door panels flipped back so we had more access to his hands. I think that would have worked better, and of course he's got his little black waist there and the white legs, all of it very G1 Jazz. And finally, taking a look at the legs of the figure, again, they did a good job with this. As far as the paint detail and the sculpt work, I love the silver toes. The black and silver on the shins looks really, really nice. And the fact that the legs totally are encased by plastic, I think that is very cool. I mean, it's the back end of the car, and they just wrap around. There is no hollow points, and I wish they did this with more Transformers. I mean, this guy is very solid as far as the looks go. It may feel like thin, cheap plastic, but the look is on point. For comparison, Here we have Jazz with the Headmaster Hot Rod from the previous wave, and as you can see, Hot Rod is taller than Jazz, which is kind of interesting, but not really surprising because he is a combiner figure that either becomes a leg or an arm. And I'm presuming that's to Alita 1 because she's the only Autobot combiner that I know of in the line for Power of the Primes. Now, Jazz, of course, turns into a race car. The old G1 version turned into a Porsche. This one turns into more of a Le Mans type of race car, almost like a Toyota, it reminds me of. So I think it's kind of a generic race car, but it's definitely cool and definitely racing looking. So let's go ahead and get him into that race car mode and see what we think. So here we have Jazz in his race car mode, and I like it. I do like it. It's not a Porsche, but I like the update. I think this looks really cool. As I said, it looks like something that you would see in Le Mans, especially this front swoop here and the way that the spoiler kind of connects straight down. It just reminds me of like an Acura race car that we see in the European tracks, which is pretty cool. Now, you can take his weapon and mount it in a few places. You can mount it up there, or you can mount it, the instructions have it mounted on the side, and then it's got the little foot thing, that weapon thing that pops in up there. I think, personally, if you're going to mount the weapon on there, it looks a little cooler like that. But yeah, overall, definitely cool. Rolls really well. I think the vehicle mode is a lot more stable than the robot mode, which is, not too bad because, you gotta have a fun car. I like all the translucents on here. Very cool. Love the stripe. Just kind of a close-up up here. I can get it to focus. All right, so yeah, love the number 4. Love the stripe. The translucent plastic looks cool. I wish we had some silver paint right here on the motor. That would have been kind of cool. We get a gas cap there and there. Very cool. Definitely digging that. Love these translucent headlights. We got the red stripe under the bumper, which is very nice. Very Jazz. Lots of detail back there, but no paint apps. Oh, Takara, I hope you paint that. In fact, I wish that this stripe would continue up here. I think that would have been pretty cool. And then here's the interesting bit. This is very G2 Transformers to me. We got the number 4, which is nice, and then it says Autobot Jazz. Let's advertise who we are to the Decepticons. No robots in disguise here. And then it says Energon right here, which I guess he's sponsored by Energon. And then there's the Autobot logo looking nice and hidden with, and I doubt it's going to show up on this camera, but there are Cybertronian hieroglyphs underneath that Autobot logo, which is very interesting and took me a while to figure out exactly what it was. But overall, I really do think that the vehicle mode is a lot stronger than the robot mode. So is the Power of the Primes Jazz a figure you want in your Transformers collection? I'm going to say yes, especially if you can find the guy at retail or lower than retail. I wouldn't pay more than retail for this figure. I do like it. I'm surprised it did not come out with the Combiner Wars, which is very interesting. And if you didn't get the Generations Jazz, this is a decent figure to have in the collection. I do like the homage to the G1 cartoon. I think it looks a lot more like the cartoon than any iteration of Jazz we've seen, at least in robot mode. The vehicle mode is completely redesigned, and that's okay. I mean, it's designed for a modern racetrack, and that works for me. It's got kind of that Le Mans type of feel going on, which is very cool. There are some minor things that they could have done to improve this. Number 1, a better plastic, tighter joints. But this being like the third in a trilogy of lines, that's not really surprising me on how loose and cheap it's feeling. But I wish they would have put a little bit more love into it because they sculpted the hell out of it, gave it great paint apps, and it's just barely missing the bar. So there he is, Jazz from Transformers Power of the Primes.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, thumbs it up. If you hate this video, thumbs it down. To watch more Ultra Maximus, click on the links to the right. Don't forget to subscribe and share, like us on Facebook, and look for more videos in the future.